It's fake now. It doesn't fucking work because you're just filming it and not getting my sincere reaction when I was bitching about Monster Hunter.
Lottie-dottie-dottie, we like to party. What's up, everybody? This is the Current Gaming Podcast. My name is Charles Blades. I am joined today by the illustrious Nintendo Defense Force founder, Drew Shuffler. How's it going, buddy?
What's good, Charles?
Games, Drew.
Games are good. Some things are good.
Games are good.
Yes,
good
sir.
things are coming out. Not a lot going good on the world, but you having a good week?
Yeah, the week's going all right.
We started off this morning with a Fortnite victory.
Yeah. Also got Monster Hunter. Forgot I pre-ordered that.
Yeah.
That came in the mail today. So
Excited.
yeah.
Exciting day. Yeah. Exciting times. Well, we had a good show for you this week. We're going to talk about a lot of studio layoffs, so that's fun. It's always a fun thing. But the first thing I think is the biggest story of the year that is 26 days old, but also the past like year and a half, 2 years, like in a while. I think this is the big story. So I'm just going to read the story here. Microsoft's $9.99 a month Xbox game subscription service just got a bit more attractive, and starting on March 20th, Sea of Thieves and all new Microsoft studios will now be available on the service on launch day as part of their Games Pass initiative. So basically, Microsoft coming out the gate hot in 2018, talking about how they're going to bring all of their first-party titles to Xbox Game Pass day one. Big deal.
Yeah.
What is your instant take on this? What's your instant read?
My instant take is that the only reason I own an Xbox One is for first-party Xbox One games or exclusives, right? So I do play Forza. You know, I'm excited. You know, I play Forza. I want to play Crackdown. I want to play Sea of Thieves. I know we'll talk about the beta in a bit, but like, I want to play all these games, and now I only got to pay $10 a month to, and not even. I mean, I probably won't even stick with these games for a long time, right? Because no one else I know plays on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So I pay $10 for 1 month, and I get to play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
You know, and then I pay $10 when Crackdown comes out, and I play the fuck out of Crackdown, and then I'm done. You know, so for like $30, I can play the 3 big Microsoft titles this year instead of spending what's that, $180.
180. Yeah, you could do it like that, or even like if you did it like how not normal people, but like how a lot of people do subscription services where they get it and then they forget to turn it off. Even still, if you play 2 games, it's still worth it.
Oh yeah, and I mean they already got a lot of their current games that are even remotely popular on the Xbox.
Yeah, not to mention they have 100 games right now in the thing.
Just waiting for PUBG to come to the Game Pass.
PUBG and Game Pass. Yeah, I doubt they do that. But
yeah, probably.
I think, honestly, this is, like, huge. This is, like... So, EA Access has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But
which I wish that was on PlayStation.
I wish it was on PlayStation 2. I would 100% buy it. Like, they put, like 6 months after it comes out, they put all the sports games on there.
Yeah.
But, like, I would reckon to guess this is the start of a lot of major publishers doing this. And so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft had something like this in the future, or if Activision Blizzard had something like this in the future. And I just think it makes sense for a number of reasons. It makes sense. Number one, all right. The trend we've had recently is single player games are like eroding and going away, and everything is online only. Kind of what do we call it? Online only games of service kind of type games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this, I think, fixes that problem in a big way. So if you put out a game like, I guess so the 3 they list here are Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, State of the Gate 2. And I'm trying to think, does Microsoft have any like big first party non-multiplayer games?
Like there's no multiplayer in them at all?
Like Fable?
Fable would be one.
Another one? Wait, that
has no multiplayer, or like
because like Halo and Gears, but like multiplayer is a big deal in this game, so I wouldn't even count those.
Yeah.
I guess Fable's probably the biggest one.
Crackdown's technically
Crackdown, yeah. I think there is multiplayer, but it's probably not. I don't know if it'll be the same.
I was gonna say Forza, but whereas I only play offline, everybody else tends to play online. So
but anyway, like, all right. So if a game like Fable comes out, normally the way that would work is. If it sells well, 5 million people buy it in the first few months. then of those 5 million people that bought it, 2.5 million of them traded into GameStop. And then another million people buy it back from GameStop, and then at that point, Microsoft's not seeing any money off of Fable anymore.
Right.
But if you have a thing like this, then people are buying into your subscription service, and people are, even though they're only paying $10 at the start, if they continue with it and you keep offering great first party titles and like a worthwhile deal for people, then it starts to become like people get in on Fable, but then they're constantly paying for everything else. So like. It incentivizes good first party, maybe single player games that might on their own not stand well, but if you're given a chance to try something like that, it might entice you to keep coming back for more. And I think that's a huge, like, not to mention you eliminate full stop the whole fucking around on used games and stuff like that, which would be
right, which fucks over the actual companies that are developing.
Yeah,
you know, and too, you think about if you're putting out single player, even the multiplayer games on there, if you like it, you only pay $10 a month. So what's a $30 season pass?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So and then again, that goes right back to them. Instead of total spending around $90 to $100 with all that, you're only spending $40 on one game, and you get all the content. So
not to mention, like they no longer, like if Microsoft is running this, Microsoft gets all the money. They don't have to split 10% for people that are shipping it, 10% to package it, 10% to GameStop or Walmart or whatever. Like it's all theirs. It's all like controlled by them, like how Valve uses Steam.
Right.
And if anybody else is using this, like I know, and see the way I think this will live and die is so I can see Microsoft doing this. I know Sony has PlayStation Now, but I can see them doing something similar to this. I don't know if they will, but I'm saying like, they could.
I sure hope so.
They feasibly could. Like if they have the first party register.
And technically, the rumor is that if Nintendo does a virtual console, it's going to be similar.
Nintendo, I think, could do it. EA already has something similar to it in EA Access.
Right.
Ubisoft, I could see doing it. They put out about 4 or 5 big games a year that would be maybe worth getting something like this.
Yeah, I'd say the only one that you mentioned that might not do it would be Blizzard, just because they put out like a game every 12 years.
Blizzard could definitely do it because of Call of Duty, like Blizzard Activision. Because if you put out Call of Duty and say, "Hey, all the map packs are part of this," 100% everyone would fucking buy it.
Yeah, I guess that's
so.
True.
I would say there's like 5 of the big ones. I don't think Bethesda could do something like this, to be totally honest.
Maybe I don't think Bethesda would want to.
Yeah, I don't think they would either. Well, I don't know, because a lot of people, like, if Bethesda said Skyrim 6 is only available with Bethesda Game Pass, everyone would buy that, and like you have people continuously paying for Skyrim that wouldn't necessarily play other games. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But
the only thing that I'm, and I don't think this is true, but I mean, I hope it's not something that they're doing. I know with the Games Pass on Microsoft, they rotate them, but like I don't want them to rotate their first party games, right?
I doubt with the first party games.
I doubt that that's the case, but like I hope that they don't do that, because then what the good karma that they're building with that Games Pass and putting the first party game on, they're gonna lose by swapping them out and stuff. So
and there can't be any like backdoor shit, like if you let your subscription lapse, then it like eats your save or some shit like that. That would be bad.
Here goes 100 hours.
Yeah, that would be really shitty. But I think with the first, like, because I know the first ones that got cycled in and out were Metal Gear 5 just went off it this week.
But like Halo 5, I'm pretty sure is better.
But Halo 5 won't ever go. I doubt it.
Gears is on there.
And I would also like to see this, like, they're doing the whole Play Anywhere initiative. I'd like to see this come to PC. I'd be a lot more inclined to do it if I don't have an Xbox.
Yeah,
this is part of that Microsoft game thing. I would totally be interested. But I think this is a huge move. Do you think Sony is going to counter with something like this?
I think Sony. I mean, we've seen a trend in the past year, 2017, of Sony feels like, at least as a consumer of Sony products and games and stuff, I feel like they've kind of fallen off on like caring as much about the gamers and like giving us everything that we want. Not saying like we want
like
this.
The quality of games is still there, but like they're not doing the bells.
But they don't seem to like want to work one way or the other to. It's just quality of life stuff, which Microsoft has already realized that they've lost this console generation, and so now they're really focusing on, this is our core and what can we do to please them and bring in more people, so I would like to see Sony do something like this, but like just because of how they've been acting about like, oh well, we don't need crossplay because this and that. Like we sell more. We got 60 million or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't do it, that would probably be what their argument would be. Is that like, well, we're so far ahead.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like it is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this will be a huge thing. I definitely see, and I also see Nintendo doing not this. Like we're not gonna be able to play Mario Odyssey 2 and Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever, like day one.
Yeah.
But
right.
I think they'll have something similar to this with their virtual console. I am sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to see that. I really, really don't want to like. There's a lot of GameCube games I want to go back and play, and if that were to be a part of the virtual console, I would just really hate to like have something if it's on a rotation. They said because even Netflix, they said like a Netflix type service was something they were considering. Yeah. I mean, Netflix rotates stuff out.
Yeah, but the thing, so the way you have to look at it with Netflix is like Netflix rotates out like Friends and Scrubs and shit like that. But the Netflix originals are always on there; and they're never going anywhere. So it would
so you'll say that Nintendo
Nintendo's first party
keep all their first party.
Yeah,
but that's all virtual console is for the most part.
Well, there's a lot.
Apologies.
Like Mega Man's on there, and
yeah.
What's the what the fuck is it? The rollerblading game on GameCube.
Hyper Grind something?
No. Oh fuck.
I know what you're talking about. The guy's got like goggles. Jet.
Yeah. Jet Set. Right. No.
No. Jet Set Radio is one though.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I was talking about. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see how long this continues and what they do with it going forward.
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of goodwill, I think now.
Yeah, I think this is the first domino to fall in this like wave of subscription services.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I could pay, so if it was $25 a month to just have games forever,
right.
like all of them, I would 100% do that. Like without it wouldn't even be a thought in my mind to do that.
Yeah.
So and I think we're stepping closer to that future.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that like going back to Sony, they invested the time in a PlayStation now, and unless they're already working on it this generation, I doubt we'll see anything from them.
Yeah, the PlayStation Now, I think it was a good idea.
It just sucks that it's all streamed.
It's all the fact that it's all streaming, and look, I don't even get like the streaming PS streaming because you stream PS2 games on there.
The PS Now is all PS3 and PS3, now PS4.
The fact that you stream PS4 games is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, what is the point? Like, I get the PS3, maybe you're playing it on a different console, and like it can't. Like, I didn't really buy that to begin with, but like, sure, maybe you can use that as an excuse. But like, the PS4 games, it's literally they're on the console. What's the point?
Yeah, those you just should be able to download.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, cool. This next story we have here is about Bioware. Apparently, they are in trouble. Jason Schreier at Kotaku put out a story saying, over the past few months, Bioware has essentially transformed into a single-player studio as it harnesses all its teams to work on the ambitious multiplayer action game Anthem. Sources say there are still small teams maintaining Star Wars The Old Republic and piecing together the next Dragon Age, which apparently was rebooted. But the bulk of Bioware staff in both Edmonton and Austin are now working on Anthem. And there's a sense among Bioware employees that the company's future is inextricably tied to the game. So basically, Bioware has been... So there was 3 Biowares, right? There's Austin, Edmonton, and then which one did Andromeda that got shuttered? Vancouver.
Yeah,
I think it was Vancouver.
I think so.
And a bunch of those employees got moved to the Edmonton one, I assume. But now apparently, so it went from a 3... Like last year before Andromeda came out, it went from a 3-studio team to a 2-studio team to a 2-studio team that's only working on one game together, basically, where they're all putting all their resources into Anthem. And the other news is apparently Dragon Age was recently rebooted. If you go down the article, apparently they're trying to make a Dragon Age like a live service game too. Which, judging by EA being the publisher, isn't a huge surprise. But what do you make of all this stuff?
No, I can understand how, I mean, it's not set in stone, and it's not like come right out and say it that if Anthem doesn't do well, they're shutting down. That's not like a for sure known fact, but just with your past 2 games launching from BioWare, you have, was it Dragon Age Inquisition, which granted Aaron might like it, but
people have softened on it.
People have softened on it, but like the initial reaction was like, this is not Dragon Age. This is not what I want.
Going back to that, even Mass Effect 3, the ending to that was a whole fucking...
The ending of Mass Effect 3, and then you have the whole garbage truck.
That is Andromeda,
that is Andromeda, and how terrible that was. I mean, you know, so like, even though it's not, you know, come right out and say it that if Anthem doesn't do well, we will shut down. But like, when they showed it off and it looked that good, like if you're not delivering that game and it runs and there's, you know, no bugs, like I mean, like, no bugs is impossible. It's gonna have some bugs, but like
if it doesn't deliver on the promise that the trailers we have seen and what we've heard about it are setting up,
then yeah, unfortunately, it looks like goodbye, Bioware. Yeah. I bet you somebody will pick up Mass Effect and Dragon Age though.
Well, I don't know. I don't think after this game they'll close no matter what. I think this game. I mean, if it bombs like insanely hard, but it's not going to. It's an EA game, like they sell. But I think with this, if this is a mess, and then the next Dragon Age, which they're making a live service game, is a mess, then that's a real problem.
So what's the point of the Dragon Age being the live service game? Are they trying to
EA just wants
combat, or are they trying to combat ESO?
I doubt they're trying. No one cares about ESO. I don't feel like. Do they?
That's not true. There's a community for ESO.
Right,
I mean, why the fuck would they release? There's the ESO Skyrim, and then there's ESO Oblivion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like there's not a community, but
I own ESO. I've never played it, but
do you have to pay a subscription for it?
No, not anymore. You used to.
I don't know how much of a live service. It could be a live service in the sense of Destiny or like an MMO, or it could just be a live service in the sense that like I don't know. I guess I don't really know what other live service thing. But it's weird. I don't know. I don't like that. But I mean, this is to be expected from EA. Like, I know the trend is the shit on EA, but like, bro, it's fucking not. You're not making it that hard to have to do, man.
Right.
With the decisions you're making with your studios, and like, yeah, man, this is a bummer.
Yeah, and I hate to see like those two studios get so much pressure put on them to where which like when you have that much pressure on you, you're bound to make more mistakes. I feel like. I mean, rarely do people. I mean, you have the people that perform really well under pressure, but you're telling me two whole studios, all of those people are performing like at 100% under all this pressure that they have. So like, and they already pushed back to 2019 now, right? And they said
that's
like
another thing. It most likely got pushed to 2019.
Yeah, because the 2018 goal was never obtainable. But
not only is the 2018 goal never attainable, a lot of people in this story are quoted as saying, so EA, the fiscal year ends in March 2019.
Which is when they want it out.
EA says we're not going to delay it past then, and a lot of people in this year are like, "Yo, I don't know about that."
Right? It's like, just we don't know if it can even.
And like, what is the point of EA doing that? I understand like they have to make money for shareholders, but can't you just tell your shareholders like, "Hey, at the end of the day, if this is a good game, you're going to make more money." Like,
at the end of the day, you say, "Hey, we're releasing 6 sports games this year that all sell."
Oh yeah,
top
Ultimate
charts.
Team
So,
also
like,
makes $1 billion a year, so like whatever.
So to put so much, like I understand that there's single player games that are like. All this stuff like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, those are important and they have a big fan base for those. But like, if you want this game to do well, like you not only are you putting more pressure on by talking about it like this, but then you're also giving them the deadline of only like an extra 4 months.
Yeah.
So.
And this is where again going back to the Game Pass thing. If EA Access worked the same way Game Pass did, and all games were just free whenever they came out, like I don't feel like they would be under this kind of pressure to have this game be this huge runaway success because Because when the game came out, people would log in, like, make an EA Access account to try it. And then that game is continuously being, like, you're continuously making money off people as long as they have EA Access or something like that.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. I just think that I don't know.
And shitty, but, I mean, really, EA just hasn't.
EA's been, this makes me even more worried about what's going on with Respawn, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Titanfall 3 doesn't perform, then there goes that.
Their Star Wars game or whatever. This next story we have here is about Epic Games. We talked about this last week, but apparently they are shutting down Paragon and putting the service... They're shutting down Paragon, a game that was never actually officially released, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it was just in early access.
No, yeah, I believe it's still in early access. Yeah. Released in 2016 as an early access game, you know. And I don't know. I just think it's not funny, and I don't think it's sad because I don't think any people lost their jobs because they're literally just going to go work on Fortnite.
Yeah.
But I understand that the fan base could be really upset, and it does suck like that they're shutting that game down completely. They a little bit of saving grace. They're offering full refunds for any amount of money you spend in the game.
Damn, really?
Yeah, like there's a link on that article I sent you on how to get your refund.
Yeah.
Like so, full refunds. So I can
read. Let me read the whole story. Hey everybody, it's with heavy hearts we've decided to close down Paragon. We truly appreciate everything you put into Paragon. We received many passionate ideas for where to take the game. The outpouring of thoughtful suggestions is another testament to this incredible community. But after careful consideration and many difficult and hurtful debates, we feel there isn't a clear path for us to grow Paragon into a MOBA that retains enough players to be sustainable. We didn't execute well enough or deliver on the promise of Paragon. We have failed you, and despite the team's hard work, we are sorry. We would try to make this right. Epic is offering full refunds to every Paragon player for every purchase on any platform. This refund will come directly from Epic rather than your platform provider. You can see how to do it right here. Mm-hmm. That's insane because this game's been out for a year and a half, right?
Yeah, it's been out for about a year and a half, and like the people that play it, and they spend money.
So well, you could buy like the founders pack or whatever the
reason they're telling them everybody.
Oh, they can get that money back in Fortnite. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, they make that money back in a day on Fortnite.
You gotta go buy that Reaper skin on Fortnite.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't care about Paragon, right?
I don't either.
But that being said, I think they could have probably taken a little bit more time. We literally just talked about
it. Was literally last week. They were like, "We're shifting people away from Paragon, but we're still gonna try to make this right. We're gonna do the right thing to you guys." It's like, nah, we're out.
Well, so you look at that in two ways. You either the bad is you think that they didn't take enough time, or the good is they're like, you know what, like
they're cutting the cord early.
We're cutting the cord. Like, why? The more we deliberate, the more people are gonna get anxious. The more people are gonna get pissed at us. So, like, you know what? We're making more money here. This has actually been a really good success for us. Mm-hmm. Let's just go there,
Yeah, that's one way to look at it for sure.
So, although, yeah, I apologize to all the Paragon players, but,
yeah, that sucks, but...
I'll see you at Tilted Towers.
See you at Tilted Towers. We'll see you there. Yeah. And another story here about... We can do this one real quick. About a game designer, or game studio, forcing layoffs. Bartlett Jones Detective Company. I think that's what it's called, right?
Detective Pikachu?
They just call it Bartlett Jones in this story, but they put out it's something like that. I don't know. At least it sounds like that. Bartlett Jones sounds like it is Bartlett Jones Supernatural Detective Agency.
That's the name of the company
for
the studio. What did you say his name is? David Jaffe.
He made Twisted Metal and God of War.
Okay.
He put out the arena shooter Drawn to Death last year. That was terrible. No one liked it. No one played it.
I played it.
Did you like it?
No.
All right. Exactly. They're apparently they're cutting out a bunch of people. He said on Twitter that it breaks his heart to see his life in a creative war zone. Or he said this is life in a creative war zone. But yeah. I think this one makes a lot more sense than the Paragon thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because no one cared about this game at all.
I mean, yeah, Drawn to Death had this hype built up to it. They were going to do a PS Plus, hoping it would find success like Rocket League did when Psyonix put it up PS Plus. And it didn't. I mean, the game was janky. I played it for like 5-6 hours, and I played online and all this stuff. It's just, I don't know, the whole art style, and it was a cool concept.
The art style is cool in theory, but I don't think it really worked. Like,
I don't think it works in an actual game, right? But I'm sure he'll find himself somewhere else.
Yeah,
and the studio people, they'll find themselves going somewhere else.
They'll find jobs.
And just don't put Drawn to Death on your resume, all right?
Yeah, no, it's just, and apparently a lot of people got laid off. The studio isn't officially closed, but like this is
it's just David Jaffe in there by himself.
Yeah, he's
just a big ass board.
Like, I made Twisted Metal, motherfuckers. Yeah. So we'll interested to see where this goes. Not interested. I say I'm interested. Not really. Like, I liked Twisted Metal back in the day. But like,
I mean, honestly, if he brought if they made a new Twisted Metal and put it on PS4, it would sell.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting.
Plenty of people that would like play
make a $20 one that's like online only, where it's like,
and
you
play soccer and there's goals and
really just put Twisted Metal, more Twisted Metals. Put Sweet Tooth in Rocket League.
He's already in it
again.
I didn't hear you say again. I was like, wait a second.
Wait a second. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the big news stories of the week. Moving on to quick hits. Another shutdown. Nintendo shutdown. Nintendo shutting down Miitomo, a game in which no one played or cared about, and that really wasn't even a game, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
that was the mobile one, right? So
yeah, more shutdowns. Toys R Us is closing 182 stores across the country. The one in Coleraine is staying open, Drew.
yeah, but there's another one over here that's closing.
Yeah, there is one around us.
So I'm wondering, we get in there, we get deals, right? They're gonna be slashing those prices.
Yeah.
Well, because you think
Amiibos,
like when
dude.
I might get some Amiibos. I don't know. I got this Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, you got the Nintendo. Dude, the I walked into a Toys R Us maybe a year and a half ago, and when I was like, what? Because Toys R Us, as you would think, is marketed towards kids. Not really. I'm gonna be honest. It was just like I went back there. They had Resident Evil 7 and fucking
there's a whole like
Grand Theft Auto. I was like, what the fuck? Why are these here?
Yeah, I mean, you got all the games you normally want. You got all the collectibles that you want. There's a whole aisle of like figurines for everything, right? So it's not just
and they had a little. They were trying a little bit when the Toys to Life stuff was happening. That was their big break, but it fell apart. This is also a bummer for Wario 64's Twitter account, which Toys R Us is a frequent fuck up in terms of having deals that they didn't mean to post that accidentally get put on there. So maybe
that's why they're closing down. We've taken advantage of them too many times.
Overwatch is getting a new map, and all the skins got put out.
I thought the map was already up.
I think the map might be out by the time we're
Blizzard World and all the skins are out.
Yeah, Blizzard
it updated. Okay, I think.
Yeah. I haven't played it, so.
Everyone loves the Diva skin.
The Diva skin's fire. The Zenyatta one's cool.
The Zenyatta one's cool. I like the Hanzo one a lot.
The Hanzo one's neat. I mean, all the skins, the art design in that game, impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, there's rarely an outfit that I'm like,
no.
Like legendary and epic outfits that are like, they're not good. Most of them are pretty solid.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves has a beta that's apparently pretty good. A lot of people are playing it. It was the #1 game on Twitch.
Really?
A few days ago. Yeah, it beat out PUBG, Fortnite, League of Legends, all that stuff. It had like 200,000 concurrent people watching it, which is like insane for.
Well, I think a lot of people probably watched it because I think a lot of people were probably hesitant. So when you got big streamers or like channels like Achievement Hunter, I watched theirs, and like GameSpot did it, and Paragon did one. Like all these channels that people are subscribed to playing these live streams and stuff. Live streaming Sea of Thieves, and you just get to see your favorite people play a game that you're on the fence about. I mean, it looked good. The water's real impressive.
Yeah, the water's real nice. I think the art style has gotten better.
Art style's gotten better. I think it's creative. I think there's a couple of things that I noticed like watching the live streams that could be fixed. I think there's just might need to put a little restriction on like areas and like what exactly can happen. Safe zones, yeah. But other than that, I mean, it looked cool. I wish that like we were talking about Game Pass on PC. I wish that we could because they're cross-platform, and I think it would be pretty fun. But I was impressed. Like I said, I'll just get a Game Pass for that one.
Before this beta and all this hullabaloo, I was very like down on this game. Not down in the sense that it was going to be good, but down in the sense that it would do anything sales-wise. But with this kind of attention on Twitch, I think they are in.
And honestly, I think that with that attention, I think that that's going to be like top 5 stream games for a couple months at least.
Yeah, it could definitely. Yeah, it could definitely. Depending on how this is all. Rare isn't known for having great game. Not like that they've done bad or anything, but like that they're not good for. They're not putting out fucking. They're not Blizzard in the sense that they're not used to having this multiplayer. Online only concurrent constant experience, and it'll be interesting to see how their community worked with that, whether they'll go the Activision Bungie route of like fucking their community nonstop, or the Fortnite Epic route of where they're constantly talking to their community, letting them know what's going on and keeping them in the loop. This next story, I don't know, you can talk more about this. Rainbow Six got a new event, and it features loot boxes that apparently it's more expensive than normal and stuff like that.
Well, so it features technically there's loot boxes in the game already. And it's all cosmetics, right? And I think there's like weapon attachments maybe and stuff, but really the you can earn them in the game, kind of like if you win you increase this percentage and there's a spin dial, and if you land in your yellow zone then you get a random it's a bag. It's like a I don't remember.
I get the bag and you get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag, flip it and tumble it.
So those are obtainable throughout the game, but supposedly with this new update, in this new event, the cosmetic items and stuff that people have seen and like wanted are only going to be available through purchased loot crates.
Oh, okay.
Which, when you've been given something, and like especially the way Rocky start, and then you've worked really hard on servers and like giving the players what they want, and then like giving them the reward system similar to leveling up and like Overwatch, where you get something pretty frequently, right? And then you go and you do something like this. I mean, it doesn't it doesn't really like
knock that
bode
out,
well.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand. I don't know. It does. I think it's with everything they try to do to help that community out and keep them happy.
It's
it's
a rocky road.
Yeah, you heading back down the wrong path.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Ubisoft, though, follow up to the next one, which is For Honor. So you got a little bad, you got a little good, and so the good being, in For Honor is finally getting dedicated servers, so that there should be less server issues and latency and everything, which is nice. And I think there's a new DLC pack coming out for that too. So again, For Honor, I didn't think that had the community that it must have, because otherwise they would not be supporting it like this. At least I don't think they would,
Mm-hmm.
So that was surprising, but yeah.
Cool. That's all the news for this week. I don't think we missed anything. Oh god, I hit my computer real hard. That brings us to what we have been playing, Drew.
Uh-huh.
What's been on your
a lot of shit.
A lot of shit. Like what?
Well, can't look at it. That's how many things I've played. Well, let me touch on this first. Last week, my audio cut out at the end, and I was going to talk about Super Meat Boy.
You're talking about Super Meat Boy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've played Super Meat Boy on every platform, and I do not think it feels any better than it does handheld on the Switch. Like, I have performed better. Like, granted, I've played this game like 7 times, right? Because I played it on every platform, but I'm like 100% at 3 worlds, light and dark, bandages, collectibles, working on World 4. I don't know. It feels really good in handheld mode. I tried playing it on the TV, and docked, and it's just, I wasn't as good. It was just, I thought it was very interesting. I mean, I even fucking played Meat Boy on Vita, right? So, it fits really well. I was really enjoying that. I really recommend that if you definitely never played it, or if you're into platformers. Let's see, what else? I played this game. It's a real fucking weird game called Ambition of the Slimes. It looks and plays like similar to Final Fantasy Tactics, but then you play as slimes and they can't attack. All they got is like abilities, and that helps like knock down the determination of the enemies, which are like literally knights and farmers and whatever, right? Witches and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then you knock their determination down, and then you jump into their mouth and you fucking force your way down their throat, and then you control
like a Vor simulator.
Yeah, it's a little kinky, but
Uh-huh.
Played that for a few hours. I didn't really catch on. I mean, I caught on. It didn't really pique the interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't, you're not going back.
Yeah. What else did I say I played?
On this list?
Yeah, I know I added a lot because I haven't talked about
Darkest Dungeon. If you want to talk about that, how that
Darkest Dungeon on Switch. I bought the Ancestral Edition, which features the Crimson Court and the Shield Breaker. Which I bought Darkest Dungeon like 2 months ago on the PS4. Played it for a while, and then I hadn't played the Crimson Court or used the Shield Breaker. And yeah, I mean, it runs really well. There's a little bit of audio clipping every now and again, but it handles pretty well. I had one time, and I think it might have just been my Joy-Con disconnecting, but like the Joy-Con, I don't know, my left Joy-Con, I wouldn't work, and like every time I tried to attack, it would just attack whoever was in front.
Were you playing it like this, like the?
No, I had it in handheld mode, but like I had previously been playing it on the TV, and then I wanted to go play handheld instead, and so I started playing it, and like every time I tried to attack, it would just attack the first person, and with as much strategy as required in that game,
yeah.
Like,
that's not.
I was just. Okay. It's not good. I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish this dungeon, and then I'm just gonna shut this game off because obviously something's not working here.
Up, yeah.
And then I won't talk about. I think I got 3 more. I'll just talk about one of them, which Rains.
Mm-hmm.
That was called. Yeah.
Yeah. iPhone game.
So it was iPhone and Android game, put out by Devolver Digital, which we all know for Hotline Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like a Tinder-esque game, right? It uses the mechanics of swiping left and right. Hold. It's not. You're not trying to fuck babes on this, right?
All right, disappointing.
But you're a king, and there's a queen one as well. And so I got the first one because it was the same price. I got the first one, and literally it's like you have scenarios come up and you swipe left or right as a response, and then the goal is to see how long you can survive. And there's like there's goals to meet the witch doctor or something, and like have them take out an army or do this, win a fight, because there's like a fighting mechanic of like either you can like try and back up and parry, or you can like dive in. But it's all very simple. But I don't know. It's a good shitting game. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking it up right now.
It's a good shitting game. Like you sit on the toilet, you play a game, you see how long you can make it while you're taking.
That's how Aaron plans to play Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3. So.
Jesus, I don't know about that. That's a little bit longer than a quick game.
That's all he can do. There's one more on here for you. Dark is what it's called.
Yeah, Dark was. I was scrolling through the iOS, like the App Store, right, and it said, "Are you a fan of Black Mirror? If you are, check out these games."
Dark.
And Dark came up, and it's an AR game, which I've never fucked with AR, But it's an AR game.
Reality.
Right. So I put my earbuds in, and like I got home from work, and it's literally like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It's nothing, right? But it was pretty interesting. And there's one jump scare, and it got me. So like, did its job.
It's like when I used to look up Steve Irwin death videos on YouTube, and they would all be jump scares.
Why?
I thought you could find him dying on YouTube.
No, I doubt. Yeah, probably not. This
is when I was younger. This is when it was that Steve Irwin death videos were a big one.
Yeah.
Shoes was a big one. Spiders on Drugs was a big one. And the two Chinese college students singing "I Want It That Way" by NSYNC, lip syncing "I Want It That Way" by NSYNC was another.
These were all jump scare videos.
No. Only the Steve Irwin one was. Those were the holy trinity.
I thought all of those jump scares. I was like,
those were the holy trinity of early YouTube videos. I played through and reviewed Lost Sphere, which, if you don't know, is a JRPG, traditional JRPG, published by Square Enix, developed by Tokyo RPG Factory. That I was talking about it a little bit last week. I wasn't that into it. They made about 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, they made I Am Setsuna, which I thought was a lot better than this. And I don't know if I thought it was a lot better than this because in my review,
that was the first one.
Because it was the first one, or because in the past year, in terms of JRPGs, we got Persona 5 and we got Final Fantasy 15, not to mention a bunch of other RPGs along the way. And like, if you look back to a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, there wasn't that kind of like influx of JRPGs in that way. So like, was I just pining for that feeling because there was nothing to fill it? And now that like I had a Persona, like this game is not doing it for me, kind of situation. Right? Yeah,
Persona tied you over.
Yeah, But basically, what I did in my review, I called it bad pizza, in the fact that it's not terrible by any means. Like, even bad pizza is good pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, it's like it feels like I Am Setsuna, for better or worse. Like, it feels exactly the same to like the nth degree, that like it almost becomes, like I said, it becomes stale and like uninspired, unimaginative. Where
uninspired.
Like a lot of like the enemies, like the battle system is just copy paste exactly the same. Like there's movement stuff that's like interesting, and there's one other mechanic that I'll get to later that's different. But all the there's enemies that are literally feel reskinned from and
I'm 100% sure they are, with the turnaround on that of the JRPG.
It's not cool. And like the environments are different. They're not all snow like they were in
not all snow. So but you said that
there's still not like, there's no like, they're just like little puzzles, like not puzzles, but like a maze dungeon kind of thing. There's nothing like different between the forest level and the beach level, or the forest level, the sand level. There's nothing different between them. Like there's no like, in the forest level there's a chance a tree could fall. I don't know what the fuck would happen.
But like enemy wise, it's the same as like you remember when we played I Am Setsuna. It was like everything was snow, but then like each new snow area there was a different type of like two-tailed squirrel or something.
Yeah,
and it was like the same fucking enemy, but it just
very similar.
It's reskinned, right? So it's like, even though there's different areas, there's a beach, there's a forest.
There's legit like enemies that were in I Am Setsuna that are.
Is there any connection you picked up on?
Narratively, no.
I didn't know this is a
narratively.
This
game, the way this game starts out is like, so in I Am Setsuna, you're tasked with like bringing this girl to go kill herself to save the world from monsters, basically. In this game, it starts out the entire world is being covered by like this white mist that is like, I don't know, like it's interesting, but like at the same time, it's like I feel like you just did this, so like. You didn't have to come up with a cool art asset that's taking over the world. It's just all disappearing into white. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt. But
yeah,
it's and like you bring it back. This is the most JRPG thing ever. You have to go into people in the town or like the people that are disappearing's memories to bring them back. And, like that's super fucking like weird and JRPG.
And like when we were talking about it a little bit earlier, like I haven't played Lost Sphere yet. I plan on playing it just because you know. I mean, I do like JRPGs, and but I said, what was? Do you have that? Do you have exactly what I said? Is like, the issue is that a lot of JRPGs tend to just become like monotonous and like it's super repetitive, right? So and like I'm Setsuna was like that, and from what you're saying, Lost Sphere is also similar, and I still stand by one of the best JRPGs I've ever played is Ni no Kuni because it's like the perfect blend of like. You know, combat, storytelling, and like a heartfelt story. It's not just some like and nobody really listens to this podcast, but like if they did, and what I'm gonna say is like Final Fantasy.
Get on HQ, send a request code to @CharlesTilla because that is all that really matters. I could give a fuck about your review. I just want the extra lives.
Right.
Anyway,
but no, what I'm about to say might piss a lot of people off, which is that you know. Although, yeah, I like Final Fantasies. I've already said multiple times I'm a big JRPG fan. Final Fantasy really doesn't change that much.
It's not.
It's not like groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, you tell a different story, but like, really, at the end of the day, it's Final Fantasy, right?
I don't know. 15's battle system's way different than.
Well, okay, but 15 is 15. So 14.
I'm not saying like. I'm not saying like the 16-bit ones that were on NES going into the PS1 ones aren't that different. Then I think with Final Fantasy 10 they start being very different, in my opinion. Right,
but even from 10 to 15, and granted, yes, 15 has a lot more open combat, but really, it's like Final Fantasy. Like
pretty boys.
It's the same game, right? You know what you're getting into, but like if you didn't have any idea, like when Ni no Kuni first was announced, and you saw that, and you're like. Man,
insane looking.
What is this game? You know, like what is this game gonna bring? And it brings like the perfect blend of everything for me. I mean, every JRPG gets grindy. You know, that's just a part of the thing.
This one, I said it didn't get that grindy, but because the battles are so repetitive, it feels kind of grindy.
It feels grindy. You're like God damn it!
Like Persona has grinding if you do the what do you call it? The where you drive the bus around. That's kind of grindy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what it's called. Fuck, doesn't matter. Well, you drive the cat bus around. That part is grinding. Yeah. But like from palace to palace, it doesn't feel. Everything feels different. There's new enemies.
From what you played, yes, the last palace is very grindy. But but like Persona 5 is another one. Like even going from Persona 4 to Persona 5, like that's such a huge jump for them. And like the art style and the storytelling and like the subject matter that they're dealing with. I mean, the same thing with Ni no Kuni. The subject matter they were dealing with, is a lot more. You know, it can hit home for a lot more people than Lost Sphere. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not waking up and be like, "Well, there's a fucking white mist. What am I gonna do about it?" That doesn't do anything for me. But like a game that's talking about something that's like whether it be mental health issues or whether it be like someone losing a parent or real shit. You know, and some JRPGs can do that really well, like Persona and Ni no Kuni. I talk so highly of Ni no Kuni, but when Ni no Kuni 2 comes out, we'll see how I feel about that. I'm starting to lose a little hope on that. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm interested. I'm
gonna play.
The fact that they're doing away with the Pokemon whole system is like a bummer kind of thing. Yeah.
That made that game, man. Yeah. That was like, I was like, oh man.
But the art style is still like gorgeous. So like.
Oh yeah, no, the art style is gorgeous and the cutscenes are awesome. You know, they do a really good job. But I don't know. It's like when take for example, like at the end of Destiny, right? At the end of Destiny 1, with all the DLC and the Taken King, everybody was like, Destiny, this is what we wanted. We're upset that you didn't give this to us at launch, but like going into Destiny 2, everybody's like, you know what we want. Like, you cannot let us down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did. So, like, Ni no Kuni knows what they did right.
Yeah.
And what they did so well. But I'm, like, afraid that if I get my hopes up too high for Ni no Kuni 2, I'm going to go in and be like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Dude, also,
so I'm trying to
thing I've been thinking about with Ni no Kuni is, have you seen these Bud Light commercials with the dilly dilly thing that's catching on?
Yeah.
And isn't that what fucking Mr. Drippy Nose said in fucking Ni no Kuni? Didn't he say like did he say dilly dilly to fucking to your kid? I can't remember what the kid's name.
Oliver,
yeah. But yeah, the last thing I want to mention, there is the biggest change, two big changes. Well, one big change, one small change that is very nice. The small changes that are very nice, whenever you're running through the world, you can press L1 and you talk to your party members. It doesn't do that much for dialogue or anything like that, but it's a really good way of, like, because constantly with these games I lose track of, like, what the fuck was I supposed to do? They tell you like, in the dialogue, it's like, all right, you'll like have a little conversations like, all right, now we got to go to Miss Hamilton's house to fucking go do whatever, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was
10 steps forward, 3 steps left, we're there.
So I thought, stuff like that. And then also, there are these things called Volca suits. I don't know.
It's like mechs,
they're
right?
like mechs,
I saw that.
I've seen it. But the way they're implemented is like bad, I think. Like,
oh,
they're
really?
cool when they have them, but the way
it's a cool idea, right?
The way you get them, so like there's like MP in this game, like every game, but like the way you restore MP is through like a potion. Way in order to use your Volco suit, you have to use Volco suit points with your VP, but they're shared between everyone, so you can and like you don't use it and it doesn't like change the gameplay big time. Like when you're in one, I mean, you're still doing attacks and thing, they just hit harder, but the way they work is like you're all sharing these points, so you don't have them that often until the very end of the game, and like so you're not used to using these in like your combos and stuff like that. So like it's basically what it is introducing a new mechanic at the end of the game when it's not like fulfilling. And like I feel like it was implemented bad. And I said in my review, I was like, at the end of the day, I would have preferred they just like not existed at all, and I wouldn't have been given like a fucking tease of like what could have been.
Yeah, I don't know, the people that are working at Tokyo RPG Factory, I think that they got a lot of good talent there. I just think that there's no need for them to push JRPGs out like this. Like,
and I know they're like, it's in the name, Tokyo RPG Factory. They're like they're making these cookie cutter RPGs, but like it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not the target audience, but like it's not.
No, I mean I don't think very many people like this game, you know, and like I think if they want to continue to like to have actual success, I think that they just need to take the time. Like, yeah, I mean, you look at the game that Square Enix is working on, Project Octopath Traveler, so the Switch.
Yeah,
like,
that looks fucking rad.
How long they've been working on that?
Yeah,
I don't know, but like we haven't heard much from Square Enix.
They're doing interesting stuff with that, with the two stories.
Right? Yeah, they went back to like the old school graphics, but they added that 2.5D aspect, and like, I mean that beta, that demo is probably better than I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere together. You know, so. If they push it like every 4 years, I mean, because a good JRPG should take, I think, at least 4 years.
Yeah, if you're gonna, and it doesn't have to be 4 years where you're just adding more content. It's 4 years where you're taking the content you have and massaging it out and like putting in like interesting narrative things or doing something interesting with the genre, as opposed to like making a cookie cutter like or Chrono Trigger clone.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we've been playing this week. We can move on to the predicting the Metacritic stuff, Drew, if you're ready for that.
Oh fuck! We're doing that today.
Yeah,
I got him. Don't worry. I guessed them last time.
You're freeballing with it.
I freeballed them all last time.
All right, so David, Cheyenne, and Aaron obviously aren't here. I'm gonna edit theirs in at the end of this, but we can start it off with Shadow of the Colossus. Drew, what
Shadow of the Colossus.
What are you feeling?
91.
91.
I think Shadow of the Colossus, with how beloved that game is, how from the ground up they've remastered this. Like, I played Shadow of the Colossus and I still found myself watching like a 3-hour fucking stream of somebody playing it.
Yeah, like
it is absolutely stunning. The gameplay looks good. There's some new ways to remap the controls. Not like remap, but there's like I don't know. There's updated controls, right? Because everyone was like, well, I hope the controls are updated because they're clunky on PS2 and the PS3 one. So updated controls to hopefully make it easier. But I mean, this game is already like touted as a great game. So I think that, I mean, I think that the love for that game will still be there. And now it's just going to be like brought forth even more with just how absolutely stunning the game looks.
Yeah, I said an 85.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna take some points because of the clunkiness, take some hits because of the clunkiness and stuff. I think people still love it, and I'm excited. I've never played Shadow of the Colossus. The only Team Eco game I played is Last Guardian. So yeah. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know much about this game.
Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a first person like medieval game, right? And there's like dialogue choices which can affect the outcome of the game. The action choices, like you can do certain things, like it'll be like, yo, they're out here, can you please help me, you know, I got robbed. And like when you go out there, there's multiple paths you could take. I don't know, I've seen like a few gameplay trailers and stuff and like dev interviews for it. I'm interested to play it. I think that that's a cool concept, and if they act on it and what they're saying, like that they're going to be doing, it could be a pretty good game. But I could probably say that like initially it might become like a cult hit. So like in the initial reaction for a lot of cult hit stuff is that it's not good, right? So I see it maybe getting an 80.
80?
Yeah.
See, I'm not in the. I looked at it a little bit to just do this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I didn't think it looked that great. I thought it kind of looked like a knockoff like sword fighting game. I don't know. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't in my realm of things. I said it's gonna get a 72. So you're not gonna be fire. Aaron, I know, thought it would be way better. Aaron, well, I'll let you.
Aaron was pretty excited about it.
He said 86.
Okay.
It's a little sneak peek for Aaron's thing.
Sneak Creek.
Next game we have on here is Metal Gear Survive. Of course, this is the Konami first Metal Gear game since quote unquote Metal Gear game since Kojima left.
Right.
Where it's a survival game and everybody wants to hate it. I don't think critics are gonna come at it from that perspective. I think it won't get like crazy praise, but this will be a game of critics are like, it's not good, or it's not great, but it's okay. And I think it'll get a 79.
79. That's more than okay.
Yeah.
So much more than okay. I don't know, dude. The gameplay looked garbage. The combat looked garbage. I didn't play the beta. I probably should, so then I can actually just confirm that it's garbage.
Confirm the garbage.
I honestly, a 65.
65. Wow.
It's not worse than Kirby Battle Royale,
Sticker Star, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, no, Mario Superstar.
Oh, we didn't talk about last month. So last month, you won Kirby. You were 5 points off of Dragon Ball Fighters. You were literally dead on. Monster Hunter World. You were dead on. Lost Sphere. I was dead on. And
nice.
Impatient.
Well, that's because you reviewed it. You had a sneak peek.
My review's not even on Metacritic yet, so it doesn't even count. And the Impatient, you were 2 off. So you won 4. I won 1. Cheyenne 1-0. David 1-0, and Aaron 1-0. That is the updated standings. Yeah. So you said 65 for Metal Gear Survive. Another game, Faye. This is the EA Arts kind of thing where it's like Yarny, Unraveled kind of thing. I think it'll be good, not like revolutionary in the way that a game like Celeste apparently is. We're gonna talk about
I have no idea.
We're gonna be talking about it next week. But I said it's gonna get a 82.
82. I don't know. I feel like Yarny was reviewed all right, like maybe a high 70.
Yarny's Metacritic is only 2.
Yeah, let me know what Yarny was, because I'm thinking it was like low 80s, high 70s, maybe. Yarny, and if I'm wrong on that, then I just don't pay attention that much. I don't know.
Evidently.
But it came out like, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I think. And there was a developer that was like really... oh, fuck. That is not the right
I mean, I liked Yarny. Don't get me wrong.
Unraveled apparently is a 2012 movie.
Oh. Did you type in Unraveled?
I just typed in Unraveled. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's Yarny, though.
No, but the game is called Unraveled.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's how much I know about this game, dude. It's so good.
Called,
I'm a big fan of this game.
Unraveled. 78.
78, so I was right.
81 on PC.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, Faye looks good. And as interesting as it is, I was when I was watching like the with that direct mini and they showed it on there and stuff. It does look a little clunky.
Yeah.
And with the release date of like what? It's next week, next month. It's like 2 weeks away or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks a little clunky. Not to say that like the story won't be good or anything like that, but like I don't know. Yarny, Unraveled played pretty well. I would see like a 75.
75
for Faye.
The last game is a VR title where you play as Stuart Little.
Stuart Little.
It's called Moss. Yeah, it's a Stuart Little crossover. It's a PlayStation VR title. I said that. I don't know that. Like, what is the objective of this game besides being a mouse? Well, you're not the mouse. You're somebody
not
guiding the mouse, right?
Yeah, you guide the mouse. Yeah. That's pretty much it. It looks like you solve puzzles to help the mouse. Mm-hmm. But there's been quite a bit of talk about it as being like a cute VR game. A lot of VR games look bad.
Is it tied into Mouse Hunt at all? The Disney Channel movie Mouse Hunt.
I don't believe so. No.
Okay, that's unfortunate. For that reason, I'm giving it a 77.
A 77.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's rare for a VR title to find success and like review well, and I think partially that could be on just the technology we have for VR games. Like just using VR, I don't think it's quite there yet. So really, you'd invest all this time into games for VR, and it's like you can only do so much with like what you have, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. It looks good. It might appeal to the critics. I'll give it. I'll give it a 79.
79.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it for us two doing that. We're gonna go to Aaron now.
First up, we have Shadow of the Colossus. I think it's going to score pretty high, but I think where it's going to suffer is the controls. I've heard, and I'm not 100% sure if this is still true, that the controls haven't really been updated to a modern control scheme, something that's actually comfortable for human fucking hands to play with. Where the game suffered back in the day was that the controls were pretty unintuitive, kind of ridiculous. So if they kept those for some strange reason, I think that's going to hurt it a little bit. So with that being said, I think it's probably going to get I'm going to say 88. And then next we have Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think that game looks awesome. I'm really excited to play it, but I think the combat is going to wear on people's nerves pretty quickly. I don't know that I could also see it getting pretty repetitive just from the short snippet that I saw. If we saw anything from it reminds me of For Honor, just initially seeing the combat, that like parry strike kind of repetition. But anyway, I think it's going to get I want to go high on that one. I'm going to say I'm going to give that one an 86. Because it looks good, it looks creative, interesting. I don't know that it's going to review very well. And then we have Metal Gear Survive. That, I think, is going to be in the low 80s. I'm going to say... Actually, you know what? I'm going to give that one a 78. I don't think it's going to review... just kidding. I'm going to give that one an 82. We'll give it low 80s. I think it's going to get decent reviews because I think initial reactions seem to be that it's a decent survival game, which... I like survival games occasionally. I think people are going to have fun with it. I just think it's not going to be the Metal Gear experience that people are looking for. It's not going to be your traditional Metal Gear title. It's literally just going to be a survival experience in Metal Gear skin. And then Fee, whatever, looks like... reminds me of Ori, sort of, just that like art style. I think it's going to be... I hope it's well received. I think it looks pretty good, looks fun, really cute. You can run around talking to animals and stuff. I'm going to say that one gets... I'm going to give Fee an 86. And that's all we have for February. That's it. Bye.
So those were Aaron's picks, and then we're going to go to David now.
Shadow of the Colossus will get a 78 because it hasn't aged well. Kingdom Come Deliverance will get an 82 because despite all of the fanboyish hype, it's not going to be that great. Also, it looks kind of clunky. Metal Gear Survive will get a 68 because it will be not complete trash, but also people will be mad that it isn't Metal Gear Solid, and Kojima got fired, and that's sad. Faye will get a 72 because it looks pretty, and that's probably all it will do. Finally, Moss, I'm predicting, will get an 80 because VR games are still in their infancy, but this one actually looks like it has a little bit of promise. That is the February games for 2018. Have a good night.
And those were David's picks, and then we're going to go to Cheyenne now.
Yes, hello. Here I am with the February games. Thank you, David. Shadow of the Colossus, 88, because, I don't know, what are you gonna say bad about it, right? Kingdom, whatever it was, Kingdom something, 80, because I don't know what the fuck it is. Metal Gear Survive, 70, hopefully. Hopefully we know that Kojima's actually good. Fee, 75. Moss, 80.
And those are Cheyenne picks. Great picks, guys. Great picks. Fantastic.
You're all fucking crazy. Those are not
I don't know
scores.
what you're thinking with that Metal Gear Survive score, Cheyenne. You're out of your mind.
Out of your fucking mind.
But yeah, that's our podcast for this week. This has been the Current Gaming Podcast. My name is Charles Blaze. You can find me on Twitter at CharlesToThe. Drew, did you have fun doing this? Just me and you, boys.
Yeah, it was a lot less
A lot less of a shit
arguing. It was a lot less arguing about different things.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very good podcast that we just did.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on all social media sites at Trophy Pops.
Cool. That has been our show for the week. We're gonna be streaming on YouTube this week, probably doing stuff. So we'll do that. Bye.